Hello from the green zone at COP26. I'm in a particularly green part of the green zone, and I've chosen this little spot to sit down and share some reflections on you about the past few days that I've spent here. It's kind of hard to actually wrap my head around what a huge moment this is. Working in climate policy for 6 years, this moment where countries come together and actually put forward not just that they want to do something about climate change, but exactly what they're going to do. Their pledges to try and limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. It's monumental. So it's great to be here. I've had the chance to kind of be inside the negotiations a little bit, just by meeting up with my colleagues and networks from my time in climate policy, and also attending a couple of events, and then also to be outside on the streets joining in with the marches and the civil society-led events. And that's been really interesting because on the inside there's very, very kind of careful negotiations, very sort of head space, kind of trying to bring everyone together, piecing it together like a little jigsaw puzzle, or another analogy might be kind of trying to deactivate a bomb very carefully, bringing things together at the last minute. Little things are collapsing or just about coming through, but this got taken out, so and so didn't like this or whatever, and there's absolutely no kind of space there for emotion and the human element to it. That's kind of locked out because it's seen as it will get in the way of the negotiations. Whereas out on the streets, it's this kind of cathartic release of emotion, of these 100,000 people coming together to meet and go, this is not okay and we can't let this happen. And there is the hope that comes with seeing so many people come together, and there's also the anger and the rage and the despair and the grief about what's happening as well, and it's really quite awesome. On Friday I was just happened to be there when the youth march was coming over the hill, and it was like this kind of tidal wave, this sea of people, and it was kind of got goosebumps all over me. And there's a carnival atmosphere, people dancing and singing, and a real release of emotion, but quite simple messaging. There isn't sort of much head engagement in comparison to kind of the complexities of what's going on in negotiations. And I've been thinking about this from a window of tolerance perspective. So if you're not familiar with the window of tolerance model, it's this idea of what happens to humans when something is particularly distressing or difficult for us to manage emotionally. And when we're sort of outside of our window of tolerance, we can go into one of two directions. And the first is despair, and so seeing quite a lot of that messaging in the grassroots activism, alongside hope, yes, as well. And then the other side of that, the way that things can go when we're really stressed, is the denial. And of course there's a facing down within the negotiations of what's happening and things, but you can really see some traces of denial as well, this kind of sense of, yes, things are kind of progressing and we're getting there, and slowly, steadily, but actually against, not being able to acknowledge that this is against the backdrop of something that is happening now and is pretty catastrophic for many people around the globe now. So those are some of my reflections on the human impact of the COP and the way that that's playing itself out. And it's been really interesting to kind of be part of both of those two different worlds. On a personal level, I am feeling cautiously optimistic about the outcomes of the COP so far. There is a sense in which, although the progress is slow and it's not as ambitious as it needs to be, this could be going so much worse than it is. And there's real cause for cautious optimism about some really, really good outcomes from this COP. So I'm here for another 24 hours. I head home tomorrow. But if you're interested in hearing some more of my reflections on COP, then subscribe to my mailing. The link for that is in the bio. And I hope to connect with you there. Bye.